Hi guys, in today's video we're going to be discussing everything that depression is not, because so much has been said about what depression is, what it looks like. Maybe I thought it's time to stress upon things depression is not. So let's start with these are the myths, right? Basically, so this one is going to be a slightly long video. Depression is not merely sadness. Sadness goes away, right? You could be sad because of an event. You could be sad because of something that happened to you. Sadness goes away, depression stays, and depression is the feeling of losing interest in things. You persistently experience a low mood. You're withdrawn. You lose interest in activities that you once used to like, right? So something that was pleasurable in the past, suddenly you have no interest in it. You're withdrawn. You don't like meeting people. Although, let me just say this, that people who are depressed refrain from meeting people, refrain from socializing. But truth be told, that's when they are the most happiest, when they're mingling with people, right? So if you are one of those people, right, who are depressed, push yourself to mingle, right? You'll feel much better, even though you don't want to. You really must. Second myth is that depression is weakness. Depression is not weakness, right? It can happen to anyone, regardless of their socioeconomic status, their gender, their IQ, or even and more. It has got nothing to do with your willpower as well, right? That's a complete myth. As a matter of fact, it's all a play of neurochemistry, right? So you could be the toughest person out there, and you could be battling depression, and it has got nothing to do with that. So, and the thing is, it is a mental illness. It's not a flaw in character, right? The moment you understand this, and the very fact that it is seen a certain way, that it is some kind of emotional or mental weakness, is what prevents, especially in our society, Indian society, it prevents a lot of people from seeking or getting appropriate help, especially men, right? Here's the thing, right? If you think that is weakness, think again. Not getting help is weakness, because if you're not getting help, you're getting worse by the day, and everyone around you is getting affected. So if anything, by not getting help, you're acting irresponsibly, right? So there's that. Depression, another myth that I see going around, not even a myth, some people say, oh, you're depressed, just get over it. Depression is not something that you can snap out of, nor something that you can get over in a day, right? It usually requires some rigorous therapy, lifestyle changes, and a lot of other forms of intervention, or a combination of all these things, right? It's not something that one can opt out of, right? If that were the case, life would be so much more easier, right? But that's not how it works. The fourth one, depression is something that only adults experience. Nonsense. Depression can very well hit children. As a matter of fact, I find that in conservative society like ours, children tend to be more affected by depression. Now, the reason being is because we have different kinds of problems. The depression here can come from the source. See, again, although depression can happen without any apparent reason, right? You don't need a reason to get depression, right? That is the thing, right? There is no, although there are certain events that can trigger depression, but there is nothing in particular that is known to cause depression. However, in Indian society, I do feel that children who are burdened by academic expectations, constant comparison with other kids, something that parents resort to in an attempt to probably motivate their children, which is again something that doesn't work. I mean, these are the very same parents who were subjected to the same treatment, and they never seem to learn the lesson, right? I mean, as if it worked on them, right? That they, decided to subject their children to the same set of, behavior. So there is that. No, children can very well be depressed. As a matter of fact, in children, depression can appear like as if they are being lazy, because depression makes you not want to get out of bed. You lose motivation completely. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to go anywhere. And what is the one thing that a child does? Goes to the school, right? And so if a child doesn't want to go to school, it's not that they are being lazy or they are avoiding their responsibilities. They're probably battling the demons in their head, right? So it's important to identify, if your child could be going through something like this, and children are very much prone to it. That coupled with the fact that things like bullying in school, right, can really trigger episodes of depression. So that is something another thing that we have to realize. And another myth that I come across is that depression never goes away. I mean, I do hear some people say that like it's something that you have to live with for a lifetime. That is not true. Therapies have known to work, and like there's pretty large data on how so many people, right, with the right therapy, with the right efforts, have been able to overcome depression, right, and completely get out of it, and have managed to live a very functional and a healthy life, right? So these are some of the things that depression is not. Now, I speak this from an angle that is more addressing. I'm trying to address the conservative societies right here. Not seeking help for depression is irresponsible, right? Depression, like I said, is not merely sadness, right? It can absolutely have devastating socioeconomic consequences, right? For example, let's say you have a person, right, and if they see, because it's again neurochemistry gone wrong, right? Depression is not, it's not that somebody's sad, right? It's the neurochemicals in the brain that are not behaving right, and there's an imbalance. Thing is that if you're not motivated because of depression, you're not going to want to go to work, right? If you're not going to want to go to work, you probably would end up performing poorly at the office, and eventually, there's only one way that ends, okay, getting fired, right? And if you get fired, where's the money going to come from? And if there's no money, everything eventually gets worse around you. So if you think that admitting to a trained professional that you are not in the right state of mind is weakness or is something that you should be ashamed of, no. What really is going to put you to shame is the consequences that follow because of depression. So you have to get help. It is the responsible thing to do. Understand this, right? If you don't get the appropriate help, everything around you only gets worse. And you have an obligation, regardless of what mental disorder, what physical disease or physical illness that you have. I think as a person, and this is not just about depression, as a person, you have an obligation to fix yourself no matter what. All right? It's an obligation, it's not a choice, right? If you're not at your best, you're not going to be of no use to the people around you and the society as an extension. So yeah. So that would be it. That would be my video on depression. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about, we're going to be discussing part 2 of malignant narcissism. Thank you.